Africa's most interactive 24 hours channel, reaching millions of viewers all over the continent on the DSTV and GoTV platform, invites prospective brands to be part of this new wave in television broadcast. For sponsorship and alternative advertisement placement, kindly contact Trending Media Africa on +234 706 945 2149 or +234 805 523 0403 or +234 813 956 1699 or email info@trendingmediaafrica.com. Planet TV. Own it.
Welcome to Africa Diaspora TV. My name is Erin Ikato, your host, and in our South Africa studio we have Toye. Hello Toye, how's Joburg today?
Thank you, Erin. Thank you very much. Johannesburg is fine, and thank you for the introductions. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, the rest of Africa. Welcome to the Maiden edition of Africa Diaspora TV. Thank you very much for making the time out to join us on this show. And what is the show exactly about? The show will be showcasing, will be celebrating Africans doing great things in the rest of Africa, in the rest of the world. And above all, beyond that, we will be talking about what Africans are doing in their own respective communities and what they're doing even to foster development back home, right? And tonight, we will be starting off. We will be showing you a few of the instances of the things that people are doing, both in their local communities and then outside of their communities. And I invite you to join us on this journey. And on the screen, you will find the numbers and the contact details on which you will be able to contact us. But we invite you to be part of this journey as we go on. Thank you very much.
On today's show, we'll be reviewing what Africans in diaspora did in the year 2016. So stay tuned, we'll be back shortly after this break.
NIDO, NIDOE, ADN, IDEA. What do these all mean in our world today? All over the world, Africans exist plying their trades, contributing to the world's economy through the economies of their host countries. This they did with the aim of surviving and making their call of humanity count in an ever-changing global landscape. To many, the existence of Africans in other parts of the world is well known. Still, to many, the fact that these highly resourceful Africans contribute to their home countries by sending money home to their families and friends is also well known. But very insignificant few are aware of the daily struggles these socially responsible people engage in to ensure their home continent is developed both on the social and economic scales. Statistics released by the Global Knowledge Partnership on Migration and Development in 2015 revealed that Nigerians in the diaspora remitted a totally official sum of $20.8 billion US in that year alone to their families and friends in Nigeria. To everyone, this is mind-boggling. Huge, you would say, but take that to 2016. As revealed by President Buhari's Senior Special Assistant on Foreign Affairs, Abike Dabiri Eriwa, Nigerians in the diaspora remitted a total of $35 billion US in 2016. This money came to Nigeria alone, and it all came from the wallets of Nigerians living outside of Nigeria. Even as we breathe, much more of such monies are making their ways into Nigeria through official and unofficial channels. While there are a deluge of questions to ask around this, What is currently of interest is the understanding that there is a tight link between Africans, yes, Nigerians in diaspora, and their homes in Africa. How well the people back at home have utilized the benefits of this link to better their lives and that of their homes is another issue.
ìgbàlódé orin mẹ́wàá tàbí orin àgbà. lórí First Yoruba Music and Lifestyle Channel tiwantiwa nìkan lẹ ti máa rí gbogbo bẹ̀bẹ̀rázì lórí ó wà ń bẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan tẹ́ǹtà lórí. All these full packages and more can only be given to you by your one and only 24/7 Yoruba Music and Lifestyle Channel Tiwantiwa TV. ẹ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ mi.
TV is live in Ghana. If you didn't know, well, now you do. Be a part of the new wave in television interactivity. Make that shout out, send in that song request, and submit that video and be seen. Send it to info@planettv.tv. Ghana, it's your turn. Own it.
Exposed to better living conditions, systems, and technologies, Africans in the diaspora have consistently contributed to their home in every angle, be it sports, entertainment, education, business, just to name a few. However, as much as these contributions exist, Africa suffers in the dire need to catch up and measure up with the globe by strengthening its political and economic structures, upping its games in technological growth and development, strengthening its legal institutions, amongst many others. To make this happen, mere funds repatriation will not be enough. This is where NIDOE, ADN, and IDEA come in. All over Europe and America, Africans in the diaspora have been working round the clock to make Africa stronger and better in every sphere of life. They understand that funds repatriation have never been able to pull the magic and will never be able to pull the magic in favor of a better developed Africa. This explains why between January and December 2016, more than they have ever done in the past, these African diaspora organizations engaged foreign governments, companies, and investment organizations with a view to making them see Africa as a viable marketplace for what they do. To these diaspora organizations, financial engagement with Africa is really not about aids and donations, but pure business investments. The business has been to engage key stakeholders, entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, private equity firms, foundations, and not-for-profits, and discuss opportunities in Africa's new era of entrepreneurship. The idea behind these efforts have been to distinguish itself from other Africa-specific forums by showcasing new investment channels to support the new generation of African entrepreneurs. One thing of note is once outside Nigeria, Nigerians tend to have a passion for bridging the massive gap between Africa and the developed world. This has often forced them to even return home and actively engage in the process of developing their home continent. The aphorism, "Don't think of what your country can do for you, think of what you can do for your country," seems to have a strong resonance and significance amongst Africans in the diaspora. Nigeria has made her marks at the track and field, boxing, wrestling, taekwondo, and football in the history of modern Olympics, but never has the country been known to participate in rowing. It was the dream of this young lady to place Nigeria on the list of rowing countries at the Olympics.
She finds joy from rowing. She rowed for her high school, Mount St. Joseph Academy in Philadelphia, a school described as a powerhouse of rowing. She graduated in 2010 after 4 years there and went on to Stafford Pre-Med School, where she also rowed for women crew team. This is not, however, where the story of Chierika Okogu, a Nigerian-American athlete, took the interesting turn to this story. While nations prepared for contingents for the 2016 Olympics in Rio, this 23-year-old Nigerian-American prepared herself to represent Nigeria in that same Olympic. It did not matter to her that all her letters to the Nigerian Rowing Committee were ignored. It did not matter that she did not have the money to make this representation happen, but she forged ahead with trainings and hit the online keys as she registered for crowdfunding at GoFundMe. This she had to do against the background of having to suspend her medical school career. Some things can really wait. She went through the heats, made it to the quarterfinals, but could not make it to the semis. But it is not about winning, but about making a statement. To bookmakers, young Chierika Okogu has made history by being the first woman to represent Nigeria at the rowing event. But that is not really the story. The story is, life is not what others can do for you, but what you can do for them. And in the case of Chierika, it is about what she can do for her country against all odds. She may not have won us a medal, but she has shown to us how we as Africans can contribute our individual skills and passions to help push the mother continent. It is not all about getting from the country, but it is also about giving back. The example of Chierika Okogu should serve as an exemplum for all Africans. We all have what it takes to contribute to our dream homes. It begins with a thought, then a desire, and then a commitment, which makes perseverance possible against all odds.
With great power comes great responsibility. Planet TV is putting the power in your fingertips with the coolest live request show ever. Control the playlist, pick your songs, and rock the party. Tweet at Planet Radio TV the song that you'd like to hear, and we'll play it immediately just for you. Catch Planet Power every day at 22 hours. The power is in your fingers. Planet TV. Your future, your passion, your now. Own it.
Welcome back to Planet TV. I believe we have a video caller on the line. Let's go see who it is.
Hey, I'm so happy to see you. Oh, I love your outfit today. I can't believe I made it through.
What's your name and where are you calling from? Welcome to the show.
My name is Laura and I'm calling you from my very comfy couch.
Take interaction to a whole new level. Call your favorite Planet TV stars by video call live in studio. Skype in and let yourself be seen and heard. Simply search for our Skype ID at Planet TV Online and give us a call. It's that simple to own the moment. Planet TV. Own it.
ADTV. Inspired to connect.
That was quite inspirational. And when we think of people like Chierika Okogu, definitely Nigerians are doing so much across. And not only Nigerians are we talking about, we're talking about Africans generally in the world. But part of the reasons why we're focusing on Nigeria today, you might have understood, is that the World Bank statistics have recently released, my apologies, shows that Nigerians have repatriated or remitted the third largest amount of money. From that documentary, we hear that even about $35 billion was remitted back home. And I'm told, reliably, that $35 billion is much more than the annual budget of 6 countries in Africa. That signifies even the power of the remittances. And to examine even the issues around diaspora and the impact, in the studio with me today, I've got one of such Nigerians, might not be that skilled in rowing, but definitely is skilled in what he does. And in the studio with me this evening is Mr. Chuks Obina Ugoihe. He is the managing partner of Happily Self Consulting here in Johannesburg in South Africa, and he will be helping even to unpack the issues around the diaspora and the challenges that we face. You're welcome to the studio with us.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Right, thank you.
Good evening, everybody.
Right,
it's good to be here.
Right, thank you very much. So, Mr. Ugoihe, looking at the story of what happened in 2016, for instance, with diasporans, Africa in diaspora, what would you say your own overall assessment is in the year 2016, for instance?
Well, I believe a lot of people are doing great things. Great things happened all over the place. A lot of Africans in diaspora, people are pushing their dreams. People are pushing the things that they have in their hearts, where they are, whether they are home or they are abroad, people are doing things. And 2016 marked a number of landmarks. A lot of people did great things. So we excited for 2017 and what we'll be doing in 2017.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. And then on the issue of funds, generally, people talk about people want to do things back home in their respective countries and issues around repatriation of funds, remittances. How does that feature in what we should be looking at going forward?
Well, the truth is a lot of money is going back home. Quite a huge, 35 billion is no small joke. It's not a small joke. So people are pushing money home. But what I want to say tonight is we need to start pushing ideas as well.
Right.
It's not just enough to, send money home, but we need to start pushing ideas. Ideas change the world. Ideas rule the world. And I'm looking at a year, 2017, when people can take back home the things that they're doing and try and go, implement those ideas back at, in the different countries and take what it is that they're doing here. Because in the places where they are doing it, what has made those places conducive is ideas.
Right. Okay.
So what we lack at home is ideas. So pushing money is not enough. We need to start pushing ideas and go implement ideas and visions and dreams and concepts. And let's begin to make things happen where we come from.
Okay. All right, to our viewers all across Africa and the world, the number you can reach us on is on the screen there. Please dial us, call in, and if you have questions or contributions as well, we will be glad to hear from you. So back to you, Mr. Ugoihe. When you talk about ideas, talk to us about some of the things that you mean by that.
Well, in 2016, for instance, quite a few things were birthed in the things that we do here. I play in the human empowerment space. I build people. So in 2016, I released a book, and then I launched a mentorship program for women. I organized the Power Women Conference here in South Africa. Right. It's an annual, it's become an annual event that gathers women from all over South Africa. And we had our biggest one yet in 2016. And that has led to the Power Women Academy, which is a group mentorship program for women, for high impact women. And we have some very formidable mentors who come in and just build those women. Because the dream and the vision that we have is to liberate the woman, to empower the woman, to show her how to release the power that she carries on the inside, right, and how to climb, how to grow. And so I'm really excited about the mentorship program that we've launched, and is doing so well at the moment. It happens, once every month, and we're just excited. And in 2017, we are launching one for the men. Okay. And then we're also launching another human empowerment initiative in 2017 called War Shakers Academy. Okay. Yeah. So those are the kind of ideas that I'm saying that we need to take home.
Right. Okay.
we need to take home.
Right. Yes. Okay. Now for those who are watching, and when you look at you touched on something earlier on, that those who are in the environments in which things seem to work, things are working, it's the power of ideas that have brought those things even to happen.
That's right.
Now, and I'm listening to you now talk about the Power Women Academy. And I'm saying, like, so ordinarily, why would I be thinking about women? And when you look at the demographics of what Africa has and the population around back in the other African countries, and that in itself speaks to a particular need.
Yes.
So in terms of that inspiring people, because that's also part of what we want this program to be able to do for us, is to be able to inspire us to be able to start thinking, to say, am I able to do that? If you look at back home from where Nigeria, for instance,
yes.
what would you envisage as possible challenges if you were to do that? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because we've got to be real and practical about this.
Oh my goodness. Well, to think about it, I left Nigeria 12, 13 years ago. And I tried to go back home, a few times in the year. If I were to go back home to trying to run this initiative, I would have to deal with the lack of infrastructure.
Okay.
I have to deal with our normal power problems. I will have to deal with red tapes here and there. I will have to deal with all the small irritations that we have all over the place. But I am one optimist that believes that we can bulldoze our way through some of those obstacles, and we can, take these ideas back home. It's something that I dream that one day I will be, going back home to launch the Power Woman Academy. I'm not sure when it will happen, but I will. It's something that I will do. The idea is that the dream is one day all of Africa, where we have the Power Woman Academy in every nation in Africa.
Right. Okay.
And just building women and just showing them how to release the power that they carry on the inside. So it's something that it's somewhere there in the corner of my mind. I don't know when it will get to Lagos, but it will get there eventually. When we get there, we will deal with the monsters that we need to deal with today.
Okay, thank you very much. Because you see, the essence of having Africans in diaspora, and maybe narrow it down to Nigerians in diaspora particularly, is to be able to link it to the fact that it is not just left in the hands of those who are in the diaspora, but also we need to be able to find that opportunity to connect with those who are also on the ground.
I agree with you.
And I'm aware that people are returning, people are going back home to their respective African countries.
And taking ideas back home.
Taking ideas back home.
That's right.
So even when I hear you talk about having that resolve, that determination to go past whatever those challenges are. And that's what we're hoping that we'll be able to get this.
Yes, and I want to encourage everybody, it's we cannot run away from home. We cannot run away from where we come from and write it off. We will have to go there. There has to be a resolve and a will in the people to say we will go back home and make this work. If I could make it work in America, why not? If I could make it work in South Africa, why not?
Right. Okay.
It's just a question of time when enough people summon enough resolve to take these ideas that are working elsewhere and take them back home. Then back home we'll start developing.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I'm afraid that's about all that we've got time for
that's
tonight.
Okay. That's
and
okay.
I hope
Thank you.
you'll find some time even to share with us and probably even have some excerpts from this Power Academy that you talk about, the Power of Women Academy.
Power Woman Academy.
Power
it will be my
Academy.
greatest pleasure to do so.
To do that. Yeah. And to our viewers and to the audiences out there, the work of building and developing our communities, our countries, and our continent, Africa, does not just sit with those in the diaspora. There are people who are doing great things back at home. We'll be sharing more about this with you in the course of this edition. This will come your way very soon. And let me transfer you and take you back even to our studios back in Lagos. Thank you very much, Mr. Ugoihe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
ADTV, inspired to connect. Far away or near, Home is where the blood boils. This is the story of Africans in the diaspora, from fighting for their fellow brothers and sisters in their host communities abroad, to making lives livable for their families and friends back at home, to growing the economies they left behind. These brilliant minds have added colors to the canvas of their nationalities in a beautiful way. Africa, particularly Nigeria, boasts of numerous intellectuals and business strategists who have worked and are still in the business of developing their host communities, both at the academic and business levels. One of these individuals who is a confluence of the intellectual and the practical in business finance management is Professor Awosika. Educated in Nigeria, UK, and the United States, Professor Awosika is founding CEO of First Call Institute for Innovation Leadership and Management, FIILM. A serial entrepreneur, she's also GM CEO at EduTech Business Solutions, Executive Director, founding CEO of Olawuyi Awosika School of Innovative Studies, OASIS, a professor of business, finance, and economics, a former vice president and dean of academics, and former special assistant to the president of assessment and strategic planning at Montreat College in North Carolina. She brings to the table an intrinsic knowledge of what it means to work in a high-pressured environment and the challenges faced in the day-to-day business management across different spheres. Abiola's career in education, business, and management gives her a deep knowledge of what it takes to help professionals learn and apply learning to businesses. Two of her books, Business Made Easy and Business and Career Planning, both published by Kendall Hunt Publishing, USA, are used by some American schools and businesses. She has been working in education and training for over 30 years. Professor Awosika has been working with some of Nigeria's leading universities, including Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, and the National Open University of Nigeria, training them on various topics. A celebrated woman of excellence, Professor Awosika has won many awards for her work and has helped to train, develop, and grow many businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Awosika to the studios of Africa Diaspora TV.
So welcome, Prof, to our studio.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Wow. So why did you really come back? Was it a give back diaspora spirit that brought you back?
I think that's the bottom line. But really it's about the people. I came back because our people are warm and I miss all of that.
You miss home, you miss the motherland.
Yes.
Exactly.
And my heart is to come back and be part of the solution to the problems in Nigeria. And so
that's good.
I was excited to be back, and it's been fun.
Oh, really? It's nice. You sound like you have so much passion for your people, for Africa, for Nigeria in particular. Yes. Why did you even leave in the first place?
Well, I went to join my husband.
Oh, yes. So love took you away from Africa.
Well, family, love. Yes, so I went with him and we studied, then we worked, and finally I just decided I've done enough in someone else's country. It's time to come back and give back.
So let's talk a little bit about how you got to where you are now. That is so inspiring. You left for love to go join your husband. And instead of being a housewife, you decided to dust the books and go back to school. What drove you to do that?
Well, there's been a drive in me as a young girl. My mom would always say that the one thing that she knows that takes people out of poverty is education. And so she was determined she was going to give us the best education that she could. And where she stopped, I determined, to continue. So went on to get a master's and then a PhD, and it's just a drive that my parents had instilled in me as a young.
So today you are a professor. It couldn't have been easy.
Not at all.
I know.
First of all, it's 20 years of being in school.
Wow.
Yes, right from primary up until the time you get the PhD. And much of my graduate work was done overseas. And
where in particular when you say
well,
overseas?
I did my undergraduate work in England.
Really?
London,
okay.
particularly.
Yeah.
And it was not easy.
Did you have to cope with racism or any other issues?
I actually don't see racism.
Wow.
I know it exists.
Okay.
I know people probably did something, you know, to put me at a disadvantage, but I never focused on it. I went ahead and did what I had to do. Some of what I had to do included menial jobs.
Wow.
Yeah, cleaning offices, cleaning houses, working the lunch table, dishwashing.
Wow.
And in the end, I knew where I was going and I stayed focused.
Wow.
And when I finished in England with my MBA, I now transferred to the United States, where I now pursued my PhD. Again, doing some of the same things.
Wow.
You know, I was food service manager at some point for one of the large stores. Again, cleaning houses, I used to work for a company, you know, Panda's housekeeping executive housekeeping or something, you know, but it was hard.
I know.
It was harrowing. A lot of times, you know, I'm sitting in the park waiting to go for my next job and I'm crying because I'm thinking, gosh, what are you doing in this country?
Wow.
I mean, look at you, you know, but I stayed the course. I kept in school knowing that one of these days, you know, it's gonna reap, you know, great rewards, and it did. Because when I finished my PhD, I was able to now work my way out of what I call the underground economy into the mainstream.
Yeah.
And then I was able to apply for jobs in universities, and then, you know, I got hired, you know, moved into the academic area of things, and became a department chair, became a associate dean, then became a vice president.
Wow.
And ultimately, so it's for those who are struggling and thinking it's difficult, you can transcend, you know, that difficulty if you keep at it.
Wow, that's so inspiring. You know, as you were talking, I was wondering if you were to advise your young self when you were doing the menial jobs and sweating it out in the maybe winter, what would you say to her?
Oh, I would say the same thing.
What would you say in a few words?
I say, you know, keep at it, stay focused, and stay legal.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very
that's
important.
Another issue.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stay legal.
Yeah.
Stay focused.
Yeah.
Work hard.
Yeah.
It'll pay off eventually.
End. Wow, it's true. So what about those people who are abroad and they have soiled their hands in illegal activities? What would you say to them?
Really, if you can find your way out,
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Because when you get in trouble, and legal trouble, it never goes away.
Well, you've done very well for yourself, and you've worked very hard to stay on the right path and remain focused. But for those people abroad right now who have maybe soiled their hands, you know, with illegal activities, what would you say to them?
I would say, if you could get out, get out.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna stick with you.
Absolutely.
Every time you need to get a job or a break of any type, they're gonna ask you, you know, if you've been, you know, in trouble.
Yeah.
And if you have, and you're going to be honest, you say yes, you're not likely to get it.
And everything is documented.
Exactly.
So you can't
and if you say no and lie,
that's
they
another
ultimately
trouble.
find out.
True.
And so it makes life a little more difficult. Life is difficult already. You're black, you're African, you're in a strange country, you know, and then you add illegal, you know, to it. It just gets messy.
Prof, statistics reveal that in 2016, over $35 billion was remitted to Nigeria from Nigerians in diaspora. What do you have to say about this?
Well, I believe that...
Please hold that thought, Professor. We'll be back more with Professor Awosika after this break. Please stay tuned.
Planet TV is live in Ghana. If you didn't know, well, now you do. Be a part of the new wave in television interactivity. Make that shout out, send in that song request, and submit that video and be seen. Send it to info@planettv.tv. Ghana, it's your turn. Own it.
ADTV, inspired to connect.
Right, welcome back. Now, you've heard about Professor Awosika. Now, let us introduce her to you, even live to you now, even in our studios here. As you've heard, she is the Managing Director of EduTech Nigeria. I don't even know what else even to describe as her as, or what should I use, but let me just say Prof. Prof, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to be here.
Right. Now, Prof, let me ask you. I see that, I know that there's a book that you've written, Business Made Easy. So how easy has business been since you got back to Nigeria?
Interestingly, it has been fine. Simply because I don't focus on the difficulties.
Right.
When there are difficulties, you just plow through it and find solutions and you move on. So some of the things that could be discouraging, I try to just live with it. Okay, excellent. And I suppose that is not as simple as you just said it. It wouldn't be as simple as that. If not, a number of us would have just returned back home, even to go and get things going. But having lived in the United States for that long, and then summoning the courage, we had a guest earlier on who was talking about having that resolve and the resolution to go back. I know you touched up on it earlier on. Tell us, in terms of when you look at the economies or the economics of doing business in a place like Nigeria, how much of resolve would you say you've had to put up to make that happen? It's had to be ironclad. I said what I said earlier just because that's who I am. But the way to break through the business environment in Nigeria is to have a very strong resolve and say, no matter what, I'm going to stick with it. Because when you think about it, a lot of people never left Nigeria or never left Africa, and they made a good life out of it.
Right.
And so when I return, and I have other experiences, I've lived in other countries, I'm bringing all of those experiences with me, I should be able to survive.
Okay.
And so you stay strong and you keep at it. Things are going to come at you. They're going to throw a lot of things at you. But you just have to stand firm and believe I am here to make a difference, and I'm going to stay with it.
Okay, right. Thank you very much for those motherly and professorial advice, pieces of advice. Now, I mean, you're a professor of finance and economics, and you also have another book that talks about career planning, and also being a woman, a mother, and I should also say a grandmother too, right?
And a great-grandmother.
A great-grandmother. Please pardon me for that. How would you advise women, particularly when we look at issues around women in Africa, and in terms of their careers, in terms of focus, the drive, and not to just give up. I mean, we had a guest earlier on who spoke to us about the empowerment of women. So, but you are almost like the case study or an embodiment of that, if I may add. So how would you advise or how would you counsel such people with all of this in terms of their career planning?
I think someone said, and I can't remember who, they said women are deceiving themselves when they think they want to be equal to men. He said because they are better. So
okay, that'll be for another day, Mom. Okay.
So when you as a woman know what's been deposited into you, and you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, you can put all of this together neatly and just push yourself to be all that you can. And you have to understand that, yes, we need our men for practice, but at the same time, we have a lot that we bring to the table. We are very, our system is built to multitask. We can understand so many things at the same time, and we can deal with so many issues at the same time. So it makes us powerful. And so if you can reach yourself and find that power, then you can transcend all difficulties. It won't be easy juggling family, jobs, and life generally, but so many of us have managed to do it. And it can. Just have to look for that talent, that right. Passion
right. Okay.
God has deposited.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, ma'am. I'm afraid we've got to just, let me say pause it here, because I'm sure that this wouldn't be the one and only time that we will be having you on the show. But thank you very much for gracing us with your presence, even on this maiden edition of the Africa Diaspora TV. Thank you very much, and we wish you more strength, more grace, even as you continue in this pioneering work that you do in the education space within the Nigerian system. Maybe next time we have you around, we will be talking more about the online education system you've pioneered in Nigeria. But thank you very much for your time, and thank you for joining us. Well, viewers, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being a part of this maiden edition. We hope and trust that you have been inspired by the kind of conversations we've been able to put together for you. We look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same channel, and we look forward to hearing from you as well, what your feedback will look like and what you would like to have even showcased even in this program. So we say thank you for your time. Thank you for being part of this, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you very much, and good night.
With great power comes great responsibility. Planet TV is putting the power in your fingertips with the coolest live request show ever. Control the playlist, pick your songs, and rock the party. Tweet at Planet Radio TV the song that you'd like to hear, and we'll play it immediately just for you. Catch Planet Power every day at 22 hours. The power is in your fingers. Planet TV, your future, your passion,